Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I got a unbelievably ridiculous thing to show you. Bryce Mitchell, UFC fighter, 5 days ago has a podcast called Arkin Sanity Podcast, Episode 1. Like I said, it came out 5 days ago, has about 6.5 thousand, 6.6 thousand, five days. So, um, I just wanted to go over this and talk about how unbelievably a ridiculous statement he makes in this one. So I'm not going to talk while I'm showing it to you. I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to come back and we will go over it. So here we go. How ridiculous this is.
So here's what I say about him, Hitler, hailing the Nazis. I really don't think that he was, because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public.
So as you can see, that's completely a fucking ridiculous statement. Now, we can talk about wars, and we can talk about all this stuff. The things that Hitler did, there's no justifying it. There is zero justification. I don't want to be too broad about it. I don't want to spark up a whole me talking about it. YouTube will get weird. I don't want to do that. I don't want this video getting taken down. I want people to see it. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going.
Education, indoctrination. I really do think before Hitler got on meth, he was a guy to go fishing with. He fought for his country. He wanted to purify it by kicking the greedy Jews out that were destroying his country and turning them all into gays.
Now, another thing that is pretty fucking ridiculous. I was talking to my wife about it earlier today. Even if them saying what Bryce is saying is that they were turning these people into blah 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 blah, all these things, you can't justify anything Hitler had done. What he did was completely unjustifiable. There's only one other crime in this world that is unjustifiable. So it boggles my mind because I'm fascinated with what Hitler had done, and just trying to understand what a psychopath would do, why he would do what he would do, and there's no justifying it. It's awful. He hurt a lot of people. He did a lot of things to young people that you can't justify. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
They were gaying out the kids. They were queering out the women. They were queering out the dudes. They were, you know what her first tranny surgery ever was? Happened to be in Germany before Hitler took over. You know the books that everybody makes fun of Hitler burning? You know what the books was? Queer books. Hitler burned queer books because Hitler didn't want a bunch of queers destroying his nation. They can't produce.
Just because somebody doesn't want somebody doing something doesn't give you justification of what he had done. I don't care. Just because you don't want someone to do something, it's not like, all right, let's go stop him from doing it in what Hitler had done. Zero justification on that.
Children.
But what about
when he got on meth and he turned on Russia? I believe that's when he kind of went full nutty. And I don't think that he was just like the best dude ever. And when I say I go fishing with him, I'm not saying he was the most trustworthy dude or I'd love him or whatever. But at some point in Hitler's life, I don't think he was that bad of a guy. I really don't. And now, was Hitler perfect? No. But he was fighting for his people. Okay. And he wanted a pure nation with people. You know what the Jews was doing? They was charging interest. Christians aren't allowed to do that.
There's plenty of Christians charging interest everywhere on the planet.
I don't.
Right now.
If you need to borrow $1,000, Rolly, I give you $1,000, and you wouldn't give me 1,100 back. You'd give me 1,000 back.
Sure, between these.
He starts this whole conversation saying, by my research, what I have done, he was not a bad guy. Excuse me?
These Jews were controlling his country, bro. They were so cold and starving. They were using their valueless money as insulation. They were stuffing dollars in their jacket to stay warm. They were burning dollars in their wood stove. Hitler comes up and says, hey, I'm kicking the Jews out of here because they're killing us with interest. And then now that he lost the war, he's the bad guy. Now, he ain't perfect. I'm not a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. I don't love Nazis. I don't want Nazis to win the war. I'm just saying they were in a bad spot and Hitler come to power. But
it's
Elon is
bad to take out a whole, like, to put a whole race into camps.
Right. And that's what your public education will tell you, Rolly, because you believe your public education, because you haven't done your own research. When you realize there's no possible way they could have burned and cremated 6 million bodies, you're going to realize that they did not. The Holocaust ain't real. What about the Bolsheviks when the Jews killed tens of millions of Christians? Oh, we don't want to talk about that.
Well, I don't know much or anything.
Well, let me tell you about the Bolsheviks. It's when these Jews come over and killed the shit out of all these Christians, and they don't teach.
Okay, so he goes on for another tangent. I'll leave the episode in the description for sure so you guys can listen to it. It's just, and he's trying to compare Elon to this said person. It just, look, I'm not a crazy Bryce Mitchell fan, but this is a whole other low because there's no justification in anything that had gone on with back then. Whether our public school systems told us these things and said all these things, it doesn't matter. Because in this thing that happened, that we know happened, we know 100%. We don't even know how many 100% people that were gone, taken from us, but we know we have a number. That number's big. That we know. It doesn't matter. You can't justify anything he had done. Just because he didn't like something they were doing, you were in a position of power, you could have stopped it. Not the way he stopped it. When I seen it this morning, I thought I was going crazy because it's an unbelievably stupid comment. Stupid thing to say. He's like, I'm not this. I don't believe this. But you're justifying the person who had done a lot of bad things. Whether he got worse on drugs or not, he was still bad when he wasn't doing them. Just because he got severely worse doesn't change the fact that he was awful. I don't even know. Oh, God. Let me know what you guys think. To say I'm not a Bryce Mitchell fan is a complete understatement. This guy's a fucking nook. Jesus. Yuck, yuck, yuck. As always, guys. Peace. Also, before I leave, I've seen the crashes. If you guys don't know, look it up. Military thing. Sorry. No. Hopefully we figure out what happens and everybody can get closure. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it wasn't trying to get something out of one side or the other. If you've watched the video, it's a little weird on how it happens. Yeah, I just hope everybody gets closure. And I hope everybody is doing all right. The families is what I mean. But as always, guys, subscribe, like, comment. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.